Yo, in this video, you will see what is the top 10 must-have units in update 12.5. Every units in this video are all obtainable and not from trading. I do want to know what is your top 10 must-have units in this update 12.5, and remember, subscribe and like. And with that being said, let's go. In no particular order, the first must-have unit is Gyotaro Moon. Gyotaro is one of the new units added in this update 12.5, and he seems to be one of the best DPS unit in this update. Gyotaro's stats on max level and max upgrade is 133,428 damage with his SPA at 7.7 seconds, making his damage per second at 17,328.31. At later upgrades, he will become a multi-hit unit, making him do well against shield opponents, as well as having the Lost Vein relic equipped on Gyotaro Moon will make him strong, and pairing him with a blood unit or bleed unit, he will turn into an overpowered unit. Which pairing Gyotaro with Daki Obi, who is one of the newer units added in this update 12.5, and pairing Daki and Gyotaro together will be the most overpowered paired units. Whenever there is any enemies that has a bleeding effect on them, Gyotaro will deal 100% crit damage, which is incredibly overpowered when both paired. Especially Daki Obi is a multi-hit, so she will be able to attack more enemies with her huge AoE circle. And Daki Obi's stats at max level and max upgrade is 97,726 damage with her SPA at 7.3 seconds, making her damage per second at 13,387.12, which is incredibly good for a support unit, and the DPS is not even counting the bleeding damage. Her bleeding damage is also 4 ticks, which is one of the best bleeding ticks out there, replacing Chainsaw Hybrid. Alright, the next unit is Aizen Final. Aizen is one of the best magic units, especially at upgrade 9. He will be able to attack both air and ground opponents. Oh my goodness. Aizen is one of the hardest units to evolve, but I can assure you, the grind will be worth it. Especially, Aizen is a meta magic ground units with just not normal maps, but also leaderboard runs. Aizen final stats at max upgrade and max level is 249,567 damage with his SPA at 15 seconds, making his damage per second at 16,637.8. If you ever want to do leaderboard runs, then I definitely recommend trying to get unique on Aizen, as he is one of the best units to have unique on, especially if you are going for a leaderboard. Finally, Aizen Final also has a manual ability called Kanzen Seimin, which causes the opponents to be pushed back and shielding your base. Sheesh! Okay, next unit is Yoshina Spirit. Yoshina is one of the new units added in this update 12.5, and she seems to be one of the best support unit in this update. Yoshina Spirit stats on max upgrade and max level is 64,041 damage with her SPA at 7.4 seconds, making her damage per second at 8,654, which is incredibly good for a support unit, especially at later upgrades. Her AoE will turn into a line, which could possibly even replace Melia. So you don't typically use Yoshina as a damage per second unit, DPS unit. You only ever use Yoshina as support, and she is definitely a must-have for beginners, especially on how many new players there are now. So I recommend trying to get Yoshina, as she will help you in most of your games with her insane slow, and the best SPA for slowing is 7 seconds. But if you are planning to use her for leaderboard runs, then I suggest having 7.5 SPA on Yoshina Spirit. Alright, the next unit is Pride the One. Escanor is the best ground unit in this update 12.5 with his overpowered late game stats, with Escanor having one of the biggest full AoE circle and having a low SPA cooldown and insanely strong damage per second. Oh my goodness. Pride the One stats on max upgrade and max level is 57,525.41 damage, following his SPA at 6.5 seconds, making his damage per second at 8,850. But with Sunshine passive, his new damage per second is 19,821. At later upgrades, he will become a hybrid unit, making him attack both ground and air opponents. I suggest placing Pride the One as soon as possible, as he buffs himself permanently from placement for 15 waves. The best trait you can have on Pride the One is unique. An alternative traits you can have on him is unique, double snipers, and divine. Yes sir. Pride the One's damage type are physical and fire. I only recommend to bring Padawan in waves that are 20 or longer, although I do bring him in my Infinity Castle. Lastly, Padawan is meta for this week 13 tournament. Sheesh. Okay, next unit is Shigaruko, Symbol of Fear. Shigaraki is one of the best support units in this update 12.5. Shigaraki Symbol of Fear stats on max level and max upgrade is 74,552 damage with his SPA at 7.5 seconds, making his damage per second at 9,940.39, which is insanely strong for a support unit. Shigaruko does DK damage over 3 ticks and up to 18 ticks at max upgrade, which DK stops regeneration enemies, and his DK damage doing 120% true damage at later upgrades, and DK will be good against magic resistance to enemies as he is a magic unit. Do remember that Shigaruko is one of the most hardest units to evolve, as you have to continuously defeat the My Hero Academia legend stages, which are quite difficult to do, especially if you're playing solo. And Shigaruko is meta for leaderboard runs, especially with his full AoE DK, and it will also deal true damage, which is insanely overpowered. Alright, next unit is Tango, God of Flashiness. Tengen is one of the new units added in this update 12.5, and he seems to be one of the best ground unit in this update 12.5. Tango, God of Flashiness stats on max level and max upgrade is 124,526 damage with his SPA at 11 seconds, making his damage per second at 20,411.45, which is incredibly good, especially with his full AoE, although his range is so bad, bruh. Despite of Tango having some cons, the unit itself is still pretty strong, especially at later upgrades. He will become a hybrid unit, making him attack both air and ground opponents, as well as having the Nail Relic equipped on Tango, God of Flashiness will be the best relic to equip. How I would describe this unit is a mixture of Padawan and Melia's Assault. Okay, next unit is Melia Assault. He is one of the best boss killer, especially when pairing with the Nail Relic. He'll become the best boss killer and one of the strongest ground unit in general. Melia Assault have a 50% crit, which there will be times his damage will crit, and having the Nail Relic on Melia's will make him strong. Melia's Assault stats on max level and max upgrade is 406,171.06 damage with his SPA at 9 seconds, making his damage per second at 22,907.9. It is easy to evolve Melia's, as Nami gives quests at the lobby that will give rewards for you to evolve the 7 Deadly Sins units. You can place 3 Melia's Assault, and Melia's costs 84,800 yen to max upgrade. Alright, next unit is Pucci Heaven. Pucci Heaven is one of the best supports in this update 12.5 with his insanely strong damage per second, shield breaker unit, and a huge AoE circle. Pucci Heaven stats on max upgrade and max level is 49,064 damage with his SPA at 3.4 seconds, making his damage per second at 14,430.58, which is one of the best damage per second support unit out there, especially you can place 3 Puccis down. Pucci can be both used as a support or a damage dealer, as at later upgrades. At upgrade 9, he'll gain an ability called Time Acceleration. When activated, his SPA and his allies' SPA will be lowered by 50%, and this will last for 30 seconds, and it does not matter if the units are not in his range. Pucci Heaven's power type is magic, and he costs 94,821 yen to fully upgrade. Okay, next unit is Metal Knight Arsenal. Metal Knight Arsenal is still the best heal unit in this update 12.5, as he is one of the best shield breaker heal unit and insanely good for infinite runs, as he has a passive where he will be able to spawn drones, which at later upgrades, the drone will do half of Metal Knight's damage. Metal Knight Arsenal stats on max upgrade and max level is 129,881 damage with his SPA at 6.1 seconds, making his damage per second at 21,291.98. Metal Knight will be needing takedowns so he can spawn his drones, and there is an indicator at the back of Metal Knight to see what kills he is at, and the best rate you can have on Metal Knight Arsenal is unique, or you can even have Godspeed on him and still be good. Metal Knight Arsenal damage type is magic. Alright, next unit is Itachi Susano. Itachi is meta unit for this week 13 tournament, especially when paired with Mangekyo Eye Relic. Itachi will do an insane amount of damage. Itachi Susano stats on max upgrade and max level is 63,784 damage, with Itachi's burning doing 63,784 damage, along with his SPA at 6.5 seconds, making his damage per second at 19,625 with burn. Itachi have 2 power taps, magic and fire. Itachi will do 2 times the damage against ice opponents. Having the Mangekyo Eye Relic is also essential to have for Itachi Susano. An alternative unit you could go for is Endeavor Hellflame. Endeavor is one of the difficult units you can evolve, as you have to continuously defeat the My Hero Academia Legend stages, which are difficult to do and time consuming, bruh. Endeavor Hellflame stats on max level and max upgrade is 151,867 damage, with his burning doing 75,948 damage, along with his SPA at 10 seconds, making his damage per second at 22,781 with burning. Endeavor Hellflame will do 2 times the damage against ice opponents, and having the Mangekyo Eye Relic is also essential to have on Endeavor Hellflame. Yippee. Anyway, that was pretty much it for this video on the top 10 must-have units in this update 12.5. I hope this video helped you in some sort of way. Remember, subscribe and like, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.